What's up everyone, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're looking at the Schrade SCHF 27. This knife is going to run you between $25 and $30. And let me give you some of the specs. Your overall length, 11.5 inches. Your blade length, 6.5 inches. Your blade material, 8CR13 MOV. It is a drop point blade with a hollow grind. It does come with a sheath that is made of molded plastic, and the weight for the knife is 8.5 ounces. Just as a quick comparison, I wanted to show you a couple of different Schrade blades here. Up top we have the Schrade SCHF 24. Down below that, the Schrade SCHF 9N, and the 27 is down there on the bottom. The 9N is definitely one of the larger Schrade survival blades out there, but you can see it's not that much bigger than the Schrade SCHF 27. Here's a look at the knife from end to end. We'll talk about these serrations in a minute. There's your handle, and then coming back the other way. Here's what it looks like in hand, and it is quite comfortable to hold on to. I think it could use a little bit more jimping, maybe up here where your thumb is going to rest, and then on the underside. It is a TPE handle, so lightweight. You do have this finger guard, and that kind of creates a choil here, and then you can also choke up to do some finer work. And because there's a large opening here, you can really rest your thumb there if you're doing some shaving or some finer work. These, I would guess I would call them serrations on the top. I contacted Schrade and said, is that supposed to be some sort of saw or sawback, that you could use cutting into a tree or a limb, something like that? And they said, no, it's pretty much just for looks. So some people like that, some people won't, but that's how it comes, and it's not made to function as a saw. So if you're using it and saying, oh, this isn't really sharp, well, it's not really supposed to be used for a saw. It's just to add a new dynamic to the way the blade looks. Another reason I wanted to get this knife for review was because of one of the unique features in the handle. And you can see on this side, we've got this little ring. When you pull this out, it'll click back into place. So it's essentially kind of spring-loaded. And when you pull this down, you can slide out this 5-in-1 multi-tool. This is similar to some of the keychain tools that Schrade has. This one officially has 5 different tools in it. You've got a flathead screwdriver, you have a belt or cordage cutter, you also have a bottle cap opener here, 1/4-inch hex, and then some wrench drivers here of different sizes. I would also say you could probably use this section up here, even though it's just kind of jimping for use. You could use that in a limited way, but also to do some stripping of wires. And then you can take this piece at the end. If you don't want it in the knife, you could just put this on a piece of paracord or some sort of lanyard if you wanted to keep this outside of the handle. For some people, they won't want another item in their knife just because they don't want it there. They're afraid it's going to fall out. So you can take it out and leave it out. If you do have it in, I haven't heard this thing move at all, really. You will have the little ring making a little bit of noise, though. So if you're carrying it, you may hear that. What you could do is pop this out, and then you could take the ring off. And the thing that I think is pretty cool about this design is that it is still full tang. So the blade you have here, and the metal is running all the way through here, and even when you take this out of the way, you can still see that you have one piece of metal that's running from the end all the way out to the tip. Here's a look at the sheath. You can tell that we do have a bunch of grommet holes, so you could run paracord through there. It's going to be a little bit tight to get it through the first time, but certainly you can run paracord through there and also through these slots as well. You could also fit some webbing through there. And here's where your belt loops through. Oftentimes, Schrade sheaths are able to be adjusted to be carried at different angles. That's not the case for this one, but you can run your belt through there on obviously either your right-hand side or your left-hand side. And let me grab the knife real quick here, show you what it looks like. Just slide that in, and good solid retention there. Take it out, and again, slide that in. That's what the knife actually looks like in the sheath. When it comes to actual use of this knife, you certainly could use it as a wilderness survival knife. The only reason I would be a little bit hesitant about that is not because of the actual blade end, but because of that multi-tool. In my opinion, generally speaking, if you're in the woods, the majority of those options that are built into the multi-tool are not going to be super useful. What I would recommend this for is you could use this as a knife in a car survival bag, a car emergency bag, an urban bailout bag, an urban survival bag, something like that. because you do have, you know, some wrenches and some other features like that built into that multi-tool. Now again, certainly you could use this in a variety of camping settings or wilderness settings, but for me, I think there are probably some other options if you want to get a fixed blade from Schrade that I would go with for wilderness survival instead of this knife. Again, I just want to give thumbs up to Schrade for trying to be unique and different in some of their design. There are going to be some people who think this is super cool and other people who just can't stand it. But Schrade is trying to step outside the box and say, okay, let's do something instead of just, you know, a lot of the standard knives that are out there, or even, you know, some of their other designs. Every year they try to innovate and do some new things when it comes to their knife design. If you watch Everyday Tactical vids often, you'll know that I usually review the knives in the studio, give you some specs, and then I'll either take them out to the woods or even in the studio, shave some wood, work on the tip a little bit, cut some paracord, cut some webbing. I'm not going to do that with this knife because I want to keep it in excellent condition. And the reason is you may have an opportunity to actually get a hold of this knife for a very discounted rate. So stay tuned for more information on that from Everyday Tactical vids. As always, thanks for watching our videos. Please subscribe to us here on YouTube. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and check us out on Tumblr. Take care.